A voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have the platform to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 80800. That's CAFE to 80800.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, this is Faith. Welcome to the Faith Washington Show. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show. Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. 2019. Welcome, welcome. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm so glad you could make it. We are live on Facebook. We are live on the iHeartRadio app, WWNN. We are 95.3 FM and 1470 AM. And tonight, I have no guest. It's me. We're just going to kind of talk about all sorts of different things. We're going to kind of talk about what I do, where I've come from, and maybe a few other odd things here and there. I started my career as a pharmacist and a biochemist many years ago, and I worked in corporate America for a very long time. And then I moved to Florida from Delaware. I lived in Indiana. That's where I grew up. Went to Purdue University, moved to Delaware, came to Florida, and became a certified personal trainer, certified strength and conditioning specialist, and practiced pharmacy and trained people on the side. It was a lot of fun. And what it taught me was how to interface with people and love on them and bring out their best. And that's really kind of what I do. And it's fun, it's exciting, and it has led to the things that I do today. I retired from pharmacy, and I still have a pharmacy license in Delaware and Florida. I'll always keep those. But I retired young because I knew it was a very toxic business. It wasn't for people. It never uplifted or changed someone's life unless it was a really acute care problem that the drug was required. Otherwise, all the drugs that are made, even now, losartan, valsartan, things that are normal blood pressure medications are being recalled because they cause cancer. There are antibiotics like Cipro, all of the isoquinolones, Floxin, Levaquin, etc. They cause cancer. And all these things were known prior to them being prescribed, but unfortunately, Big Pharma owns it all, runs it all, and our patients and the people that I cared about were not being treated appropriately. So that's why I had to exit. After I left corporate America, I built multi-million-dollar pharmacies for Fortune 100 and 500 companies. Then I moved into a vice president of pharmacy operations position with a nationally known company. And that didn't scratch my itch. And so I knew I needed to be an entrepreneur. So I moved out into the coaching business. I did life coaching, business coaching, and now I do business consulting. And what my favorite thing to do is bring capital to small companies, mid-sized companies, first tranche, second tranche, whatever it may be, to actually get them moving in the right direction. And it's so much fun. However, there's a lot of information that needs to be known that I think people are not informed before they actually do what they need to do. So I kind of like to share that with you tonight. If you are a small company and you are in need of funding, there are a lot of things that you need to know before you come alongside and ask for capital. You should ask for capital because you should have working capital in order to build your business. But they're going to ask you for numbers, and numbers are facts. Numbers are not something that you can just pull out of thin air. They're numbers on paper. So they're numbers that are bank statements. They're numbers that are your business numbers, and they're not a judgment of you. So, like, if we're looking for capital and I'm on the team, we're going to ask you for a business plan of some sort. We're going to ask for a deck. And if I ask you to make up a deck, I'm going to want it to be maybe 10 to 12 pages or less. And if you do something such as that, you want to make sure your financials are in the front, because anybody who's an investor is going to look at your numbers. They're going to bottom line it 1, 2, 3. They want it quick. They want it easy. They're not going to want your whole story until after they've looked at the numbers. What are the facts? So once they have those, then they'll be able to discern, all right, yeah, this is a trustworthy investment or it's not. So it's never a judgment of who you are, what you've done, or who you're being. It's just simply the facts. So capital raises are based on that. And then once you have that capital raise and you're going to apply it, you need to make sure that you're doing the right things, that you've stated this is what you're going to do, and you delineate and place it in those buckets so that you're going to actually apply it towards that. And you're not applying it towards something else, or you're paying off debt, or you're doing this. No, you don't want to do that. You want to do exactly what you said you were going to do. Be honest. That's why it's very interesting with capital raise that you're kind of being interviewed to find out, are you being honest, and is this what's real? Because a lot of people say they have this, they have this, they have this equipment, they have a facility, they have whatever it may be. And in reality, when we go in and we actually scope out the numbers, that's not the case. And we don't want to see that. We want you to get what you're entitled to and what is possible. But if you're not honest with us, then that's not going to happen. And then I also sell companies. So we want to know what your real numbers are, due diligence, and, you know, can this be sold in this country here in the U.S., or can it be sold in another country like Canada, South America, Europe, etc. So what we're always asking for are the facts. And then when it comes right down to it, many times people fall short of these things, and part of what we want to do is to help up-level your thinking. So that's where I come in, is if you have a company and you're falling short of what it is that you'd like to do, what I'd like to do is help you to see you need to take responsibility. Take responsibility for who you're being, who you've been, and what do you really want. And if we can move people in that direction of being honest and authentic, there is nothing that you cannot do, whether it is in your mind or whether it is actually in the honest manifestation of it. I'm sure most of you, if you're entrepreneurs, have heard about the law of attraction, and it's a beautiful thing. You've also heard of any sort of religious values that you might have boxed yourself into. And these things are all well and good. They give us guidelines. They give us borders to kind of keep ourselves moving in a right direction. However, they're not the end-all be-all. You really, truly need to understand that the universe can give you so much more. God will give you so much more. What occurs is if you keep your thoughts really high, if you love on people, If you are thinking the highest thoughts of yourself, then great things come to you. But if you'll notice, okay, this is simple quantum physics. All right, I love quantum physics. There's wave and particle theory. Particle theory, if you study it, you can go onto YouTube, you can look anywhere you like. Particle theory is you see something and that's what you're focused on. So what you're focused on is what you see. It's a very interesting theory, and it's true. And the wave theory is that there are infinite possibilities that you could experience. Anything. You could experience tremendous wealth and abundance, or you could experience tremendous poverty and lack. What does your mind's eye, what does your inner being, what does your subconscious focus on? Whatever you focus on is what you're going to get. It's that simple. It's super easy to look at. You can look at the experiments in quantum physics and see that because we are energetic beings, this is exactly what occurs. So staying focused on what it is that you truly want brings more of that into your life. In other words, it's a momentum type of process. If you focus on the bad, you're having a bad day. My friend Dawn didn't have a great day today, and it's sort of what we call snowballed on her. And my daughter's having a snowball bad day. However, if you will stop yourself in the middle of that, okay, this is cognizance. This is actually being aware of who you are, who you're being, and your responsibility and accountability in every equation. Because in every equation, every relationship, every business deal, you're it. You're the one. So what are you doing? What are you thinking about? What are you focusing on? So when you understand that, stop yourself in the middle of it. Stop in midstream. Focus on something totally different. Focus on how dark the night is, that there are streetlights. Focus on how white the clouds are if it's during the day. Focus on something completely and totally not normal. And if you're able to do that, then what you can do is you can bring yourself into a place of neutrality. And that neutrality of thinking will allow your mind then, what do I really want to focus on? What kind of possibilities are there? Do I have possibilities? If I have possibilities and they're good, maybe I should focus on that. And then that allows your beingness, who you are in this life, in this world, to bring in more of that. If you focus on negative, you're going to get more of it. It's really, really super simple. Focus on negative, get more. If you focus on positive and you focus on just completely on how wonderful your life is, happy, grateful, in the flow, there's abundance everywhere. If you look for it, you'll find it. You focus on that, and that's what you receive. If you look at it day by day by day, that's exactly what occurs. I remember many times being in pharmacy and experiencing really stressful situations. And that's what I would focus on. I would leave work, I would focus on it, and I kept getting more and more and more of it. But when I learned to focus outside of that and see the greatness of helping patients and really focusing on their well-being, then I got more of that. So I got more of what I loved. And in retrospect, that's really what we all want. So no matter what kind of business you're in, whether you're in a startup, whether you're in an established business, whether you are an entrepreneur, okay? There are entrepreneurs, which are people that start their own stuff, okay? That's what I do. Then there are intrapreneurs who are people who think entrepreneurial, but they work for others. In other words, you're on a team of, could be a giant corporation, could be a smaller business, whatever the case may be. You're actually inputting and putting that significant touch on their business. And they may not be aware of it, or maybe they're very appreciative, whatever the case may be. You're able to up-level their business just by who you're being. But you really don't want to do this on your own. You don't want to have to scramble for clients. You don't want to have to look for income. You always want to know that you have income, that you have insurance, that you have benefits, yada, blah, blah, blah. Because it's not easy being an entrepreneur, an outwardly focused person in business. Being an entrepreneur, as I've discussed with countless guests over 2 years, is not exactly the easiest thing on the planet to do, but it's so much fun. You get to work for yourself. You get to bring other people into your business. You have so much fun, but you're the person with all the concerns. You have the concerns of your income, your output, and getting those clients and having fun with them and making sure that you are productive. Every day you wake up, you've got stuff to do. Are you following through on the list of things that you have to do? There are multiple people that I watch on Instagram. Craig Ballantyne, and I believe he's at Real Craig Ballantyne, Ballantyne on Instagram, and then Bedros Keuilian at BedrosKeulian on Instagram. Both of these guys are phenomenal. Just great speakers, and they're very real, and they talk about their business. These are people that you want to follow. Gary Vaynerchuk, if all of you are or are not familiar with him, he's got a little swearing thing that he just loves to do, and it's fantastic. And that's Vaynerchuck, I believe, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a blast. These three people are folks you want to follow so that you understand that entrepreneurial spirit. It's a mindset. It is training your mind to do more than what you ever did in corporate or what you'd ever do in working for someone else. Working for someone else, you're like, all right, I'm going to do what I do today. I'm going to screw around on my phone. I'm going to do this. Oh, well, maybe I'll do that. So your productivity is very, very low. But at the entrepreneurial level, you're off the chain. You are on fire. You're on fire every day. You are in momentum. You are bringing things to the table. You are thinking differently. You are asking differently. You literally live and breathe and ask yourself different questions about who you're being and how you're being. And if you're not asking yourself different questions, you're getting a crappy result. If you want a great result, you ask yourself better questions. My friend Yolanta, who was on last week, we have a question that we ask ourselves. How does it get any better than this? And what this does is it trains your subconscious mind, which is about 90% of your thinking, to look for a better result. If you ask your mind better questions, you get better results. And that's critical thinking when it comes to being a business person on your own. So you take the time to meditate, to get clear, to get quiet. And I spend that time in the morning, first thing when I wake up, 4 or 5 o'clock. Headphones go on, meditation occurs, I do my reading, and I prepare myself for the day. So the bigger day that I have in front of me, the more meditation that I need to do, the more quieting of my mind, so that I'm clear and I'm not thinking about what everyone else thinks about me. Oh, did I say that? Because I frankly don't give a rip what anyone thinks about me, my business, what I do, how I do it, or anything else in my life. It is a gift. as soon as you lose that need to feel or think or care about what anyone thinks, your life is already up-leveled. Your business is up-leveled. You feel good about you. You don't worry about everybody else because they're not going to tell you what to do. They're not going to tell you how to live your stinking life ever. They don't pay your bills. They don't take care of your kids. They do this much. Live your life for you. Be clear, be calm, be cool. Treat other people great. Treat other people with love and kindness. And it's something, it's really interesting because I was talking to Dawn and Freddie earlier before the show. And pretty much that's what the Brooklyn Cafe is about from 12 to 2, Monday through Friday on 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, and the iHeartRadio app and Facebook. They talk about that. Love other people. Be kind. Be compassionate. And I believe truly that if you'll do that in everything that you say, think, and do, you will never lose. You will always come out on top. I think that God or source or the universe, different terms for different people. I believe in God. I believe that He leads and guides us. When you think in terms of love and caring for other people, you have it made. You're not going to lose. But if you don't, and you're thinking evil thoughts, or you're thinking revenge, or things that are not loving and friendly and kind, it's going to be a problem. You're going to have resistance. The whole idea in living our lives is to live with very little to no resistance, to feel great about your life, what you're doing, what you bring to the table, your authenticity. Look, I'm just who I am. Sometimes off the air I swear. Well, yeah, I do. Sometimes I'm just really blunt. In fact, most of the time I'm very blunt. Not everybody likes that. I don't care. I like me the way I am. I love me the way I am. And I would exhort each and every one of you who listens to this, who watches this, who really truly engages in your own business, be you. There's only one of you. 3 billion people on the planet? You were made uniquely. So the more unique you are, what you bring to the table brings everybody together in your circle. And you interact with people not by chance or whatever it may be. You bring those people to you. Like I said, that's wave and particle theory, quantum physics. Carlos Orozco. Carlos, how you doing, buddy? Carlos is probably one of the most brilliant scientists. He actually finished the theory of relativity for Einstein because he did one thing. He brought emotion and feeling into the actual equation. And when you do that, when you bring in feeling and you bring your heart into it, everything expands. It means that you're actually in touch with and engaged with other people that are coming into your space. That's really what wave and particle theory is about. The waves are those people that come within your space and you interact with them and draw them into what it is that you do, and they draw you in. And that's how your business grows. That's how I grew every business that I have ever been involved with, is drawing people into you, loving on them, caring about them. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's a very fascinating and interesting kind of a duality. You know, it's really great to be an informed and intelligent person, but if you don't care about people, they feel it. They know it in their heart. So care for your peeps, care for your employees, care for yourself first and foremost. Oftentimes, you get on a plane, they tell you, put that mask on yourself before you put it on your kids. And that's very true. If you'll take care of you physically, mentally, emotionally, then everyone around you survives and they thrive. That's why in family situations, it's really important. Mom, take care of you. Dad, take care of you. Then the kids will follow. They'll understand and they'll feel great about who they are and how they're being. Same thing with your business. Business, family, life, it all flows together. And you can expand that. That's why people who think outside of the box and they're not worried about what everyone else thinks about them. Look, Elon Musk is a perfect example. He doesn't give a rip about what people think. Steve Jobs didn't give a rip. You know, I look at the things that say that maybe he wasn't so happy. Well, that's up to him. Your happiness, your joy, are your responsibility. Thank you, Ken. Are your responsibility. You get to choose these things. That's what life and business coaching is about. So if you folks are interested in hearing more and contacting me, if I can up-level your business, so many ways to do it. Lots of fun. Because I don't do any work unless it's fun. You can contact me at 561-702-3986. That's 561-702-3986. If I can't pick up the phone, leave a message, text me. Either way is fine, and I'll get back to you. But just remember the things that you're doing and being are influencing other people, but start with you. Take great care of yourself. Folks, thank you so much for listening to my 2019 message. I'm so grateful that you're here. I really love doing this show. I love my entreps. I love the people that have been on the show. I love my audience. And we are live here on Facebook, The Faith Washington Show. I am Faith Washington. And we are also live on 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, and the iHeartRadio app, WWNN. Folks, have a great night. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.